this thing settle down a little bit and see if we can't get some chit chat going. I know there were some people already in the queue. That's cool. Glad you're here, and we'll figure that out as we go along. I don't know who's here yet, but we're going to talk about some stuff. I'm just going to wait for the feed to grow, and tell me who's here so we can have some conversations. In the meantime, coffee. I know it takes a little bit because it could be doing the feed, or showing my stream right now, but for whatever reason, satellites, I don't know, you end up with a bit of a lag. And so on my sidebar where it shows the people that are watching, I don't get any information about that for a while. Now it's showing there's showing 2 up in the left corner of my where can I point? Right there, showing 2. And so, hey Leonard, glad you're here. And so we're getting there. I didn't realize I could like point at that. Look at that. I can make it look like I'm balancing it on my finger. Or I could come over here and point at that. Pretty good at the finger pointing thing. Looks like I have 12 viewers. Hey Gary. All right, so it's starting to show, so it says 6 on the side stream. Hey Brendan. 351 Cleveland, I guess. I'm guessing 351C. That's why I would say that. So, Joe, glad you're here. The topic for today is the FrankenTruck videos. I did those videos. Hey Joshua, I did those videos like, I don't know, 3 years ago, something like that. I don't even remember. Maybe longer. And the whole tearing down the 68 GMC that I had, and then the 2006 Chevy 2500 HD. Hey Dale. Hi Dave. There we go. Loose cannon. I see you. You just popped up, so that's great. But anyway, I did those videos, and looking back, Tom Paget. Glad you're here from France. All right, Brandon. Or Brendan. Sorry, Brendan. Sometimes you got the A, sometimes the E. You got to be sure, but it's hard for me to see a little bit. I got a little bit of a glare in the background, from the overhead lights and stuff. But anyway, so I made those videos, and they were about to tear down and my own kind of construction of that truck, and they got some decent views and stuff like that over the time period. And then all of a sudden, this past couple weeks, those videos have been taking off. And initially it was just the, hey Gary, thanks for the thumbs up. Initially it was just the first video, of me talking about or breaking down the truck or whatever. Hey Andrew, glad you're here. But anyway, that video was going crazy. And then all of a sudden they started noticing that there were more videos in the playlist. So they're all getting lots and lots of views. And to give it some perspective, and I can't really, I don't think I can click away. I don't know if I trust, I don't want to click away and get confused by it, but it'll give me like a daily, view count, and it goes up and down, depending on the day and, what's going on, or a release of a new video. So that number will fluctuate quite a bit. Well, over the past, my average, I think, average is like 12 to 14,000 views a day. And all of a sudden these last couple days, that number has more than doubled. I'm getting like 25,000 views a day. And I don't know what's going on, why it's taking off like that. But I'm glad it is. Unfortunately, those videos are very short. I didn't put a whole lot of detail in those videos like I've been doing over the past couple of years with the Mustang stuff. But the, oh, here we go. Hey, William. Oh, good. Glad you like that Jeep video. Yeah, that was interesting. That was a good video. But the videos I did on the FrankenTruck, they were like 6 minutes. Really short, not a lot of detail, and I tried to cover steps pretty quick. And I think part of it was I was trying to get that truck done as fast as I could, so I really couldn't sit back and do footage and clips and show sequences like I do now. So I wish they were longer. I wish I'd put in a lot more detail in those videos, because that, I think, is becoming a more popular type of conversion. I've had people comment that they're taking old Tahoe chassis and putting on a Chevy or GMC cab and doing a similar project. So I wish, like I said, I wish they were longer and had more detail, but they still seem to be doing pretty well, surprisingly. And again, it's just randomly taken off. Now, I do also want to point out that I did, we made an attempt for another Viewers Project video. And Robert had sent me some video clips. And unfortunately, his camera phone had a mind of its own. So it was really making it difficult. The footage, while really clear, it was really shaky for some reason. There's something wrong with the camera setup. And no, Leonard, did not mess with the rocker panels. I've just been using the truck and driving it. But with Robert's video, it was real shaky. And I tried to fix it. I actually did create a video that I was going to release yesterday, but I just didn't like it. I wasn't comfortable with putting it out there, because I know people want to see those things and they're looking for details and they want to see, what's going on with people's cars. But anyway, it's going to get, that one's just probably going to get deleted. I know Robert's planning on redoing another video for me so that I can, edit it down and get it on the Viewers Projects playlist and in there. Brendan, thank you for the inspirational garage clean up video you put up. Good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. We all need to clean up stuff. And it could be in the house. It could be in the garage. It could be outside. I've got stuff sitting outside. If you are ever in the right position, you see I have these over there on that side of my garage. There's kind of like a pile of metal and stuff that I usually let it build up for a little bit, maybe a year. I don't know. I don't really pay attention. And then I'll just load it up on the truck and haul it in for scrap and get rid of it. So I have a lot of that I need to part ways with. And, the nice part is with the garage door closed, I don't notice it. So it doesn't really, hey, Thomas, yeah, no rain. No rain. And not in the last couple of days. It's been very sunny and clear and nice. Now, I know it's supposed to start again next week, I think. I'm not sure why. I saw something on my weather app, and it looks like it's supposed to start raining tomorrow and for the rest of the week. Who knows how much it's going to bring, but it's been a nice little relief to be able to get outside. I was able to actually mowed my yard, which is a big plus. It's starting to get crazy, and spring is here in the south. Really, trees are blossoming, and so got to stay ahead of that stuff. But I had some other things going on this week as well, or today, I should say. My wife and I went over to Alabama. I mentioned in the last live stream that we were considering looking at some property. Yeah, you're right, Leonard. Out of sight, out of mind. But I had mentioned last week that we were looking at some properties over in Alabama, and we went and looked at a couple of them, and one is definitely a no-go. Yeah, I won't even go into much details on that. It was just not good. It was poorly built and needed a complete renovation, so that one was X'd off. But we did find a property that, while it would be very suitable for my liking, my wife has to be satisfied too. And so there's things that, meet my requirements that may not meet her requirements at this time. And we looked at this property, And hey, Jack, Dave, laying down epoxy primer this week. What do you recommend for a high build primer for block sanding? I use PPG 2K high build primer. That's what I use. I've really never used anything else, so I can't point you in another direction and compare anything. So that's what I use, PPG 2K high build. So anyway, I don't know if that helps you or not, but that's the answer I'm going to give you. Hey, Brenda. Yep. Oh, you enjoy the Brooklyn Kona videos. Awesome. Very good. I appreciate that. But here we were looking at Barry. Are we able to see new merch soon? Well, I don't know. What are you looking for? I don't know what I can offer. I've made these shirts before. I do have some hats still available. I know I got to send one out. I got to send a package kind of deal out to Thomas. Thomas won't get it. Anyway, he's wanting some stuff. So I don't know exactly what you're looking for, Tom, but I need to get probably another order of these shirts. These are the specific shirts that I had made with the distressed look on them, or coloring, and these aren't the same as the ones you get on Teespring. If you go to Teespring, there's a variety of stuff on there, different colors, different designs, as far as shirts and other stuff like that. So if you haven't checked it out, you can go to mostly I think on the videos it has a section that says merchandise or something, and if you click on that, it'll take you to Teespring, and it'll show you what's available on that stuff. But these shirts, I'm down to just a couple of extra large hats and hoodies. Oh, okay. Well, I've got some hats. I've got some hats, but those are only available through me. I don't have any of these set up with like Teespring because they would just be a print, and this is actually stitched, so a little more detail. But on the Tom, on Teespring, there are hoodies on there, I believe. Hey, Nick, glad you're here. But as I was saying, we went and looked at this property, and man, if it was easy enough, I would just buy it. The property has basically, well, it has a 40 by 80 shop on it. Very well built metal pole building, and inside of the building is basically, I may as well call it a bachelor pad. The guy who bought it, he uses it to hunt and stuff like that. So he built in, I don't know how, it's probably I'm guessing 12 by 20, maybe something like that, insert inside the building that is kind of like a trailer basically, but it's built, it's structured, it's not a trailer, and it has a bathroom, it has a kitchen, it has a little kitchen and living room mixed together, and then it has a bedroom in the back. So it would be great if we could do something along those lines, but it's just the timing may not be right, but the shop is, I think I could probably show, I have some pictures I could probably show you. I wish we could just pull it off and go, but again, you gotta have all, what they say, the ducks in a row, and right now the ducks aren't lined up. But let's see if I can, yeah, that's the inside of the shop, and it's got over here, this is the little building that's inside. Whoops, went the wrong way. So it would be really cool. And then the building itself has an overhang on the outside. It would be awesome. But and let me see if I have the other shot. I thought I had one going the other way. Yeah. It's got roll-up doors on each end that are powered. Just an awesome building. And we're still looking at it. If we could figure something out, we might, go get into it. But It would be a while. We don't know. Pretty popular though. Lots of people looking at it. Leonard, um, how many bays? I mean, it's a 40 foot wide, 80 feet deep. So you can, I mean, I could put a bunch of stuff in there. Um, you know, I think the roll up doors are 12 feet tall. The ceiling is 14 feet. So a lift would be no problem. And I mean, 40 feet, you can put in, I mean, 80 feet deep. I mean, all kinds of stuff. You can just configure it however you wanted. Um, but we'll see. You know, if it works out, it does. If it doesn't, well, we just move on. Or we just stay where we're at and keep doing it here. But that was fun. You know, the nice part, yeah, yeah, and Andrew, those the pole barn style man caves. There's also barn dominiums. I think I mentioned that before, that people build. Let's see if I can adjust this camera just a little bit. Oh, that's right. I'm trying to keep it out of the light. I've got the fluorescence, or I mean the LED lights that are just out of the picture. So don't want to blind people. But yeah, the barn dominiums are really cool. You know, it'd be nice if we could come up with something like that. But you know, gotta wait for the right timing, I guess, and see what happens. But it's really nice over there. You know, it's quiet, laid back, not a lot of. Oh, I got a Barry S from Australia. Thank you, Leonard. So Barry, it's got to be. I don't know what time is it over there. You're up early. Yeah, if you haven't already, you know, if you're seeing some of the sidebar chat, if you haven't already subscribed, go subscribe to Grease Rookie's channel. You'll love it. It's very fun, entertaining. He's learning, and that's enjoyable. And check out Nick Pixel TV. You know, I posted a link from him where he did the shout out from Chip Foose in my comment section on my page, and that's pretty cool. You know, he does some really great film work. You know, I look really bad compared to his work that he does with his footage and his cameras, but you know, it is what it is. That's how it works, right? Let's see. Brian, hi Barry, got you on the laptop and not on YouTube yet. Still says waiting on YouTube. Huh. Hey Robert, I was just talking about you. You're in big trouble. Yeah, Brian, I had to reload the first when I set up my preview for the there you go, 7:19 a.m. in the morning in Western Australia. Glad you're up bright and early to watch. Hey King Custom, but I had set up I do the preview where it lets people know that there will be a live feed later on. Hey Heath, and when I went to go live, I hit the go button and it said failed to connect, reload. So you might want to reload your YouTube and see if it brings you up. Hey Donnie. But anyway, I had to, it may be that you have to reset it just like I did so that it would go live. But it's all right. Let's see. Yeah, I know my nose is running like a faucet today, Robert. Uh-oh. It's not like that virus thing that everybody's freaking out over, is it? Hope not. If not, you can just, take your time making that video. And that's something else that's really gotten into this public lately. Obviously, is a coronavirus thing. I know that and I don't like to really get into this much, but I know the media, they like to really pump it up. But I know we have cases of problems and people, there's obviously many sick people or people getting sick, and but there's also people that have recovered from it. So hopefully everybody's out there is healthy and staying healthy, 76 Corvette, Camp Humphreys, Korea. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. That's a good one. I know we had somebody. I don't know if it was you before, but we had somebody from Korea on one of the feeds or one of the streams. We also had. I know we had somebody from Argentina, um, but if it's not the same one, then you're the second guy from Korea. Just saying. Yeah, Robert. Yeah, even I'm getting having allergies hit me. I was a little concerned the other night because I was starting to feel some drainage and must be the pollen in the air. Which Georgia usually has a pollen count by this time of like 6 billion or something. I don't know what the numbers really are, but they're crazy all the time in Georgia, and everybody always has problems with allergies. At least in Georgia, they do. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of lucky. I don't get it as bad, but I still have issues with like, you know, our pets sometimes, stuff like that. Uh, Ducks in a row. See the Duck Man. He restores VWs. Yeah, I'm not seeing the Duck Man, but we need to have our ducks in a row. That would be a good thing. Robert, I was trying to buy new cartridges for my respirator last week and none to be had. Yep. Robert, Leonard, know the feeling. Busted for things I didn't do. Don't forget to put a thumbs up, guy. Yeah, thank you, Tom. Throw a thumbs up on there. Okay, we can do that, Brenda. I mean, there's a couple other guys that I follow. I know if you haven't followed him, VW Darren, he puts out some good stuff. He's been doing a lot of VW stuff over the years. Yeah, tree pollen. We have Bradford pears, a lot of Bradford pears in Georgia, and those things when they hit, man, it's a mess. Hey, Leonard, we have another Leonard. All right, we're starting to double up. Last week we had two Jacks. We had Jack Daddy and Jack W. And then today we got two Leonards. That's good. I think Leonard one is, if I remember right, Arizona or Nevada. So you're both out in the West Coast or West, far West, Midwest, something like that. George. Okay. I binge watched all of your FrankenTruck videos today. Hi from Germany. GM Car Guy. GM Guy 3. Sorry, GM3. GM3 car. Whatever. All right. I got George oh wow. George Obergfell. George Obergfell. You get a bell for watching all the FrankenTruck videos today. I know they're short, but hey, if people like them and get to see them, and you know what, GM guy, you gave me. Let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got a bunch of thumbs on there, but I'm only going to give you one bell. You don't get it. You don't get a big bell for lots of thumbs up. I appreciate the thumbs up though. That's good. I like it. But yeah, I'm glad George Obergfell. That's a good name. Sounds like somebody that should be playing football. Obergfell, a center, center or lineman. Yeah, Leonard, living in the desert. Yeah, you don't have pollen out there. But you don't have, well, not much of anything out there, if I understand correctly. And the drawback is, like you said, you have to drive a great distance to get your stuff, parts and materials. So I guess there's a trade-off. King Custom, can you please make a video tomorrow? Well, I don't know. Maybe. I know you've asked me about making videos of the tools and stuff like that. I don't know yet. Not sure what my plan is. I know that I started trying to get the transmission to fit in Brooklyn Pony, and it's going to work. I'll make it work. Obviously, it's going to happen. So I'm going to have to play with that some. But this week for me is probably going to be a short week because I know I have to do the way my schedule is. Every third week I have to work an extra day at my regular job. So, and this happens to be my third week, so I have to go work an extra day. Let's see, Leonard, you have lots of dust. Carter, did you ever race against Brett Heem in Pennsylvania? Doesn't ring a bell. Or Brett Hearn. The R and the N are really tiny on this little sign, so I'm guessing Hearn. Doesn't ring a bell. Yeah, if you were to look around, um, oh, pine pollen. Oh boy, yeah. Carter, unless he raced, I raced at Winber Speedway, so if you know where that's at, back in the early '90s. So late '80s, early '90s when I raced there. In the South, in Georgia, I raced at Seven Flag Speedway, which was in Douglasville, Georgia. It's long gone. They sold it out for subdivisions, got rid of it, unfortunately. It was a pretty cool track. Heath, fitment test cool video. Yeah, thanks. And that's why I want to make stuff like that. It's one thing to say, I mentioned last week that there were some guys who were on a whole different channel doing a test fit where they cut a car in half and rolled an engine in front of it. That doesn't really help anybody, the way I look at it. If you butchered the car down to just a pair of rocker panels and a roof, then any engine's going to fit at that point. So I'd rather do it this way and show a little bit of whatever the struggle may be, and then progress from there. Now, I did find some information online. There's a guy who has a picture sequence of him putting in the same transmission, and he points out the lugs being knocked off, and he had a T5 transmission in his Mustang, and he converted it over to the AOD, and I'm pretty sure that he bought I think it's from CJ Pony. Excuse me. There's a tubular crossmember that works with either one. Apparently, that's what he put it or has holding up the back of his, because I cannot use the factory crossmember or trainee crossmember. There's no way to make that work. There's too much pan and all that stuff in the way. It never happened. Plus, if you ever want to pull the pan, it's just not going to work. So either we end up buying one of those cross members, or I end up making my own. I've done that before, where I've made some stuff like that. I know the one that they sell through CJ is rather expensive. But if it's pre-made and it's decently made, maybe that's the easiest route. I may just have to touch it up. I think they said the welds were looking pretty weak on that one that they built, and so I would probably go over it and re-weld stuff to make it stronger, just because that's what I am. Yeah, I don't know, Johnny. Haven't had a chance to watch the fitment video yet. Yeah, from what I'm gathering, and I don't know for sure because I haven't really gone this deep into that stuff. I don't know if the T5, I think it bolts right in. I think there's plenty of clearance because obviously it's going to be should be a smaller housing. It's just a matter of moving your shifter around. And that was the other cool thing, that picture sequence that I found on the conversion the guy did. He used a shifter from I want to say a 2006. I think it was a 2006 V6 Mustang. And by using that one, it almost, well, he says almost, it looks like it needs, a little bit of tuning, but that shifter will fit on the tranny hump pretty close. And then I think he had to modify a couple little things to make the cable run work. And then he used a dipstick tube from a V6 Mustang as well. So looks like there's some, you can cross over some pieces and parts from different cars to help with the conversion. But I haven't gotten that far yet. When I pointed out that I did a test or a measurement difference between these, whichever it is, 40 and the 70 case, it had different lugs, different mount holes on the block, where it mounted to the back of the block. I don't know if you noticed, there is a dipstick tube that's in the box along with the control module and stuff for the transmission. But I don't know if that dipstick tube is going to be completely compatible. I don't know. I don't know if that's because that transmission, it fits other vehicles. Obviously, it's not technically designed for a 65 or 6 Mustang. So I'll just have to look in on that and see if it'll work or not. If not, I'll have to pursue those other pieces and parts. Brian got me on YouTube, a little north of where you grew up here in PA, Du Bois, bordering Elk County where I grew up. Yep, I've heard of Du Bois, but I've not. I can't picture exactly where that's at in my mind, but yeah, in fact my parents live in Bedford County, so if you know where that's at, I'm sure you do if you know where Du Bois is or you live in Du Bois. Okay, so Johnny Crash, you've done some research. Seems you need to modify the tunnel if you want anything bigger than a T5, TKO, T56, AOD, etc. Okay. Yeah, I know the T56 and the TKO are bigger transmissions. So I'm hoping, I'm really hoping that I can make the AOD work with just knocking off that one lug that's in the way and maybe a couple little other pieces that are going to interfere. But I don't want to get too carried away if I don't have to. I'd rather keep the pan the way it is and everything like that. But hopefully everything works out. There you go, Johnny. You got a new follower on your channel. And I don't know if I've seen any recent videos from Johnny. He's doing a 65.6 out in Texas somewhere. So I don't know if I've seen any recent videos. What is that? I saw something the other day. Whose video was it? There you go, Nick. Good hunting up in North PA, up north in PA. Yeah, yeah. The deer get really big up there. Lots of corn. And they get thick over the winter, or they get thick before the winter, I should say. Yeah, definitely good hunting up there. Oh, let's see. What's with FrankenTruck? Well, I don't know if you've seen it or not, Mach 1s, but FrankenTruck was my naming of the truck that I built. I took a 68. It was technically, when I found the truck, it was a 68 GMC. And it was actually a 3500 rating on it. It was a farm truck. And it was ordered with no bed. And it was originally a dually. And it had a 305 V6. Yes, V6, 305, with a granular 4-speed. But it also had buddy bucket seats in it, which is, we know, those of us that follow those trucks know that's really rare. But the truck was painfully modified and painfully slow. Somebody had taken the frame and cut it off square and then shortened it up and then put a regular 3/4 ton axle into the back, took away the dually. And it was like driving a tank. It would barely do, 50 miles an hour was all it would really do. It was just, cool truck, painfully slow. So I started thinking about it, and I considered that I should I was considering converting it to a regular drivetrain, changing it over. In fact, I had gone so far as I picked up a 3/4 ton 87 Chevy and was trying to convert the disc brake assembly to the front of the original 68 chassis. That was my goal. And I started doing that when I stumbled across a truck for sale that was a 2006 2500 HD. And it had damage to the back of the cab, and the bed was all beat up, and they were selling it relatively cheap for that kind of truck. And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, there's a 6-liter automatic. What can so I bought it, and then I started doing the math, and I ended up taking that chassis and I shortened the chassis. I cut the cab up to pieces. You just ruined the cab. Cut it, tossed the bed, and well, let me tell you, I built this whole truck, got it to the point of being drivable in 17 days. So I was in a rush. So I took the frame, and it's a slip frame. So it has a front C-section and a rear C-section, and they slip together. And they do that so that you can have a different length rear. So you could save the front chassis or front, frame, and you can have different lengths for the rear. Let's say it was a standard cab or a regular cab, or or long bed, short bed, but you could slip them in to a point, and then they would get welded or riveted. So anyway, what I did is I undid all the welds, and I pulled that frame apart, and I cut off 26.5 inches, and I brought them back together and slid it back to the original overlap, and then welded it back together. That gave me the correct wheelbase that I wanted for the truck. And from there, I ended up mounting the cab, and then I went and got a flatbed for it, and did all that stuff to make the truck that I wanted, to drive. And so it's been really cool. The truck hauls and tows and does everything that a 2006 truck would do. In fact, it turned out so well as far as fitting the frame and everything. I never had to have an alignment done. It was dead on. I mean, it drives like it straight as an arrow down the road. So really happy with that truck. There's still a few things I need to do to it, but like I said, for whatever reason, the videos are taking off. Somebody has been just watching and watching and watching. So I appreciate that. If you're one of them, great. But and there's people still ask me questions or want to know more about them, and I try to answer as always. Johnny, no new videos yet. I finished the tail panel, and I'm in the process of moving from Wichita Falls, Texas to Little Rock, Arkansas. The 66 is already there. A buddy with a trailer moved it for me. Well, that's cool. Hopefully you got a shop to work in or whatever. I know you've been working out in your driveway. Robert, I remember that 405 V6, huge pistons in that thing, and I know you commented it said 305, so I'll give you a little bell for correcting yourself. But yeah, that thing was, it's a huge engine. It looks like a big block. I mean, like it's a big block engine sitting in that truck. But man, you could pull the moon with it, but just you're not going to go fast. I can tell you that. Brandon, it's great to see people subscribing to each other. Helps encourage each other to put more videos. Yeah, that's true. And I've got a gnat flying around in here. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to make a loud clap on the video. Let's see. What kind of headers are you using on Jade with the Borgerson box on Jade? There's actually, I list those headers. They are Patriot. Well, they're if I remember, they're Summit brand headers. Is who I bought, Summit brand headers. But when I opened the box, they're made by Patriot. So I'm pretty sure I covered that in one of the videos. I talk about it. That when I open up the box and I point out that these are made by Patriot. So the part number is listed, but it fits. The headers fit beautiful, no conflict at all, and I'm very happy with those. So hope that helps. Let's see, Paul. Oh, I've heard UV. Well, I'm going to skip ahead. I don't know what that means. Johnny, there are some rust repair areas that I'm not really happy with. How they turned out. I may cover redoing those areas if I can get it to look nicer. Yeah. You always want to do more, and sometimes you have to go backtrack. Yeah, Paul, I've got headers on that thing. I've got headers on the Borgerson with the Borgerson conversion. I've got them on there. So go check out the videos. I show the putting in I think I show a video setting the engine in, and I give a lot of details on those as well. So go check those out. You'll probably get the information you're looking for. Johnny, it's going to get into the garage in Arkansas. It's a bigger garage than the old one. The family car is getting kicked out to the driveway. You get a bell for that. This gnat. All right. I know you can't see it. I just look like I'm swatting it. What are you swatting at? Anyway, Jason, I replaced both rear quarter panels on my '66 Mustang. Are there any videos detailing the bodywork where the sail panel meets the quarter panel? There might be. I don't know which videos you've looked at. If there's several, I mean, there's a lot of body work videos, and I probably show sand techniques in that area. So if you go back, I don't know if you looked at the videos for the light blue Mustang. That has a lot of information in it. And then Mystique, you know, I did a quarter on it. I think I covered that in those videos. So you might just have to go back and check those out and see what's there. Let's see. Leonard Walters. Sister-in-law had a 61 GMC half-ton with that motor and automatic transmission. Yeah, and I'm sure it. I mean, I've heard it's a great engine, but you're not going anywhere fast in it. I could tell you, it's probably with the transmission automatic. It's still going to be tough to get any speed out of it because usually the gear's so low. You're welcome, Paul. You just need to get better at welding, Mach 1s, or get better at grinding. Yeah. Leonard, have you seen a video of the guy building a 66 fastback Mustang like Brooklyn Pony? I have. And actually, I follow him on Instagram. We've communicated a few times. So, yeah, I'm familiar with him. I think he's pretty cool. And actually, he's kind of inspired me in a way because I think, and I may have mentioned this before, going forward with these projects, my thing that I really enjoy is metalwork. I really enjoy the fabrication, putting pieces together, making them fit, and whatever. You know, if you look at my videos, that's where I get my most satisfaction. So I'm really thinking that as I move forward after I get the Brooklyn Pony done and Jade, and this may relate more to the '68 Camaro basket case, that I will probably try to focus on just doing that kind of work, say for other people. So if somebody wanted me to build them a Mustang shell, I would probably be more interested in doing that rather than building the whole car, because it's so time consuming to build the whole entire car. But like I said, I get so much more satisfaction out of doing sheet metal work and welding and, you know, doing all the fitment. So following that guy on Instagram, yeah, I'm pretty impressed by what he's doing. And I know they do a lot of, they're like a business that they do that with a lot of cars. So they have a lot more people involved, I think, than what I do. So yeah, it's pretty cool what he's doing there. Let's see, Brandon, practicing New Zealand. So you're up early too, I assume. You're gonna be up early because I know the guy in Australia, he's up, and it's 7:45. 8 is the hard part. Sometimes, I mean, it takes practice to get, you know, welding done and getting it right. Let's see, AGAP Nationwide Engines rebuilt a new 305 6-cylinder back when they were in business. They were quite expensive as they didn't fit production and parts were hard to get. Yeah. Okay, it's 12:45 p.m. in New Zealand. Well, then I'm way off. I'm way off because it's a.m. in Australia. I don't know. I don't have a map in front of me. I know where, you know, you're not in my backyard. But it is lunchtime. Cool. Leonard, speaking of metal, has anyone noticed the price of steel? No, I haven't been keeping up with it. But hey, I got a question. Here I'm throwing this out there because I've got sort of one of those friend of a friend type of contact deals that somebody is in my neighborhood is looking for a 6-cylinder engine for a 1966 F100. Okay. Now, I haven't researched it at all. I'm just saying they asked me today if I could find an engine for a '66 Ford F100. They said it was a, if you know the answer, correct me if I'm wrong. They said it was a 240 cubic inch. Now, I'm not familiar necessarily with those. I know they made the Mustangs had a 200 cubic inch. I know that there's a 250, and of course later on Ford had the 300 cubic inch. So if you know of somebody who may have one of these engines for a 66 F100, I don't think I don't know. I can't say there's going to be a bunch of difference between this year, this year, this year, this year, this year. I think as long as it fits that era of vehicle, which I don't see why it wouldn't, they're looking for one. So, and I don't know how far they want to go to get one or how much they want to spend or anything like that. But they've tried going through. Uh, hey, Brandon, that would be awkward. But there are houses behind me. But anyway, they said they try to go through like one of the rebuilders, Jasper or somebody, but they don't have them. They don't have access to them or something. So just saying, if you know of anybody who's got one within, I don't know, within 100 miles of Atlanta, I don't know what the number needs to be, but and you can, if you know anybody, or if you know the difference between, if there's like I said, 240 is what they told me for the cubic inches. I don't know. I know Ford made a bunch of weird size engines back in the 50s and 60s, to 352 and I don't know, all kinds of oddball stuff, until they finally gave up and said, let's just make some simple numbers. I like coffee. Oh, and I'll have to say that today's midday lunch was Hardee's. Not that it matters, but I know the last couple of weeks I've pointed out that I've been to like Arby's and Wendy's and whatever, but today's lunch was Hardee's. So I know that, I forget who asked me last week that they wanted to hear, hey Tyler. Well, I know it's not Tyler. Well, anyway, I'm going to say hey Tyler, but I know it's not. It's sorry, it's not Tyler. It's Ted. Anyway, pounding on a dent on his 01. Man, this little gnat's going to drive me crazy. Robert Adams, I know a guy that has dozens of Ford trucks, 75 and older, and would most likely have one, but he will not part with anything. I will ask. Though he won't sell me any of his projects. So, yeah, I understand. Let's see. Just bought two 67 F100 two-wheel drive long beds. One has a 352 and the other's a 390. Huh. Well, that's in New Zealand, right? No, Mach 1s. I'm sorry. Brendan is in New Zealand. Yeah, Ted. I know. King's Custom. Do you have your own paint shop in your garage? I do. I have a paint booth in the back. And I'm pretty sure there's a video. If you did a search on my channel and it was like paint booth makeover, I think is what I labeled it, you'll see it. So you can have a look at it. Leonard, I would be a drive. My brother-in-law in Arizona has one. Yeah, I don't think they want to go quite that far. But I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. I know that the guy, he builds cars and does stuff at his home for everybody, like regular mechanic type stuff. And from what I'm gathering, it's his neighbor who has the 66 F100 with a blown engine. So he's trying to, come up with one to put in it. That's about all I know. I haven't gotten. I was only given the information earlier today, before my wife and I drove over to Alabama. So I haven't really had time to even think about it. But I thought I would throw it out there because there's lots of people on this channel, and maybe there's some insight or information I can get. Oh, one other thing. Point this out. you know, I said before I have my other channel, J Daddy's Workshop. Yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it went over 1,000 subscribers. That was the goal. So, yeah, celebratory sparks and lights and glitter, whatever. So yeah, it's over 1,000 subscribers now, so I'm pretty happy with that. King Custom, how big is your paint shop? It's a one-bay shop. So the width is 14 feet, the depth is 24. And that's it. It's 14 by 24. So I can fit a truck in there if I want to, but it's mainly just meant for cars. Mach 1, it's nice to see the blankets off the door. Yeah. You know, last week when I did the video, I did a video where I, you know, test fitted the engine. I think in that early sequence I did it where I took all the panels off the door and stuff like that. And I was pretty happy too, because then I could open that door, because I can't obviously open it with those blankets on. But now I can open it up, and especially with spring here, get a little bit of air, and just, you know, it feels good to have that fresh air coming in. In fact, I did an oil change this morning for some friends of mine, and I was able to have the door open, so that was nice. But it makes it difficult for doing the videos. I think in that video with the test fitting the stuff, I did this opening sequence standing in front of the open door, and, you know, cars driving by or planes flying over or stuff like that really gets kind of, to me, it just kind of messes up the effect. So I had to give it up. You know, I try to just keep the door shut when I'm making videos. Brendan, what do you think of the EMS panels? Thinking about importing floor pans, sills, or rockers in USA terms. EMS? I'm not sure I'm familiar with EMS. Anybody out there familiar with EMS? Give me some insight here. I'm not familiar with that. For Ford, for 54 Ford Custom Line right-hand drive. Okay, so now that helps a little bit. I am not familiar with EMS. I don't know who that is. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. Wish I did, but being unfamiliar, I can't give you any kind of guidance on that. So, if anybody else knows about EMS, let Brendan know, so he has some idea or some opinion he can use. EDP, maybe EDP coded. I don't know, Robert. EMS panels. That'd be quite a difference in lettering, EMS to EDP. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm thinking it may be a manufacturer like AMD or something like that we're not familiar with, because we don't have to deal with the 54 Ford Custom Line. I was thinking about this past video I did, or the past two. People have been asking, or somebody has asked several times, about junkyard stories. And man, this gnat is gonna drive me crazy. Just keeps making laps in front of my face. Okay, there you go, Robert. At least you found EMS. I don't know what to do about the gnat. Anyway, so I know that somebody had asked me last week that I should share a junkyard story every week. So I was going to do that. EMS Auto in Detroit. Yep. Not familiar with them. But I was going to tell you a junkyard story today, because this one has been on my in my mind for so many years, because it was such a mess. Mach 1s, I just brought a Dynacorn rear frame rail and a China rear frame rail. Night and day, Dynacorn is worth the extra money. There you go. Well, just remember that the Dynacorn, from what I'm gathering, the rear frame rails are wider in the midsection across the arch where the axle, you know, the relief, it's that area is wider, because I ran into problems when I started putting in the TCI suspension, and I had to custom build all the brackets. It was a mess. I mean, as far as customizing. But for a stock, drivetrain, suspension, I'm gonna say you're probably good. But just know that there is a difference. And I don't know if the Chinese ones are the same or not. I can just speak from the Dynacorn version. I actually showed that whenever I was putting that rear four link or whatever setup in the car. So just an observation. 470 Mach 1. Okay. Yeah, I know that I'm using my reference for the 65.6 version with that floor pan, that one-piece floor pan. Johnny Crash, Engineering and Manufacturing Services. I don't know. Could be the name. King Custom, you should do some barn finds. Well, I did one. The problem is I can't. They're not like everywhere. I gotta stumble onto them. It'd be great if I could find more barn finds, but it just doesn't seem to happen. Hey, Danny. Oh, yard work, yeah. I'm telling you, this gnat. I'm going to look like a moron chasing around this gnat while I'm trying to talk to you. Nope, back to work. See you, Brendan. Glad you were here. Bye to New Zealand. Okay. Anyway, I forget who it was asking for junkyard stories, but this is the junkyard story for today. And it is my brother. I have a brother who's 6 years older than me, who is, in my opinion, 10 times the mechanic I am. I mean, I can fix a lot of things, and I can weld, and I can do a lot of things, but mechanically, he's way above me. That's what he does. He doesn't do body work, none of that stuff. His focus is mechanical, welding, that sort of thing. So we would probably make a really great team if we had hooked up and started, actually being able to build cars together, but just not really, not in the cards. Not going to happen. 87 Mercedes, Brendan. Okay. The gnat is entertaining. Yeah, maybe for you. Sean, when you got fed up with the tail panel, where did you get the replacement from? I got that tail panel, which was an original tooling panel from Mustangs Unlimited. But as I've been told, and I've mentioned before, they're out of business. So you have to check with CJ Pony or Kentucky Mustang or somebody along those lines, but definitely get the original tooling panel. You won't regret it. There you go. NPD, Robert. He wanted a bell. He gets a bell. So Robert answered that question. And Sean, go to NPD and find the original tooling panel for around $100. There you go. Yeah, bugs already. Yeah. In Georgia, they get here quick. There's really not much. Leonard, my barn find will be a 77 and 79 Ranchero. Well, there you go. There's a barn find. A little out of my way to go film it, though. But here's my junkyard story for tonight's episode. Oh, wait a minute. We've got Sean. What do you think of Dynacorn? I mean, the panels are decent, but I can't tell you if the Dynacorn, if they make a good tail panel or not, because I've not used one. I've used original tooling, if that's what you're asking me about. All the other panels, I've got Dynacorn fenders that look exactly the same as the Taiwan fenders that I pulled out of a box. I've got quarter panels that look exactly the same as the Taiwan ones I pulled out of a box. So there's some that's really great and some that's not so great. So just go with that. Okay, junkyard story. So years and years and years ago, when I was a kid, and I mean like probably 8, 9 years old, would put my brother at about 15, somewhere in that range. He was trying to build his own off-road something, some sort of half-breed car thing. And he had, he could weld, but no, I don't King Custom, sorry. He could weld, 15 years old. He was a pretty good welder. And he decided he was going to make his own little off-road thing. So I don't even remember what the car was. I can't tell you what it was because he just got out. I don't know what. I don't know what he used. Some sort of a cutoff system, saw, might have been a torch for all I know. But he took this car, which was it was a V8 car, a rear-wheel drive, so it had to be something from the 60s, 70s, maybe early 70s, and he just cut this thing to pieces, cut the roof off. There was no windshield, there was no front fenders on it, there were no doors, no quarter panels. It was basically the rear hump where the differential, rides, and the front section of the car. Now, what he did is he took it and he cut out all the midsection. So let's say he eliminated like 4 feet of floor pan, okay, and he welded this thing together somehow. So it was I can only assume it was a unibody car that he did this with, and the keychain. No, I don't have any 67 C10 parts. Sorry. Oh, there you go, Johnny Crash, giving you an update on the status of those panels. So hopefully they get that corrected, Johnny. Hopefully, but he's saying they'll eventually run out of these. Maybe I need to buy up as many as I can so I can resell them. Well, there you go. Johnny gives some information about what he's seen about the Dynacorn panels, but I have not used the Dynacorn tail panel, so I can't say. But anyway, my brother had taken this thing and he'd shortened it up. It had a wheelbase of maybe 6 feet. It was really short. And he decided he'd been working on it different days and nights, whatever. And he gets this thing together and he talks me into going for a ride with him. Now, we lived out in the country. We lived on a road that was like tar and chip. There was dirt for part of it and tar and whatever. Seeing King Custom. Okay. Oh, well, there you go. Robert gave some more information. Okay. Triplus Metal. Yeah, I've had good luck with them for the C10 stuff. I have. Anyway, so we went out in the middle of the night. This thing didn't have any headlights on it. And he decides he's going to take it out on the main, well, I say the main roads. For us, a main road is a paved road that's enough width for 2 cars. And so we're out driving somewhere, and it was fun. We were having a ball. And I got another gnat. We were having a ball, just flying down the road in this thing. And I don't know exactly what, he had to shorten the drive shaft and all this stuff. But apparently he didn't weld up or add any bracing. So we were driving back, and we're miles from the house. And it's like 10 o'clock at night on a Friday or Saturday night. And the thing breaks. Now, it didn't break on his side. It broke on my side. So the rocker panel where he had welded everything together, it just broke, collapsed. So we were trying to drive, and the rocker panel, it's on the ground. So we're can't go. The car's like kicking sideways. Well, there's no seats in this car. We were actually sitting on the rear hump where the differential sat. Okay, there wasn't even a seat in his car. And anyway, the only way we could make it go was I had to like get on, put my hips against the hump. I don't know how to make this happen. I had to put my hips against the hump and put my feet on the dash and be like reclined, and I had to do a press and push up the dash, which made the floor come up so that he could drive down the road. So we were, I'm in a sense, I'm holding this car together by pushing it apart so that we can drive down the road. And it took us, because we can only go so far, and I had to I couldn't hold it. And the whole time he's yelling at me because I'm not holding the car together. Like, I'm 9 years old. What do you want me to do? So it took us. We ended up. It took us like, I don't know, probably half an hour or 45 minutes to go a couple miles because I had to press this thing up. We're lucky it did just break in half, because then we would have had to walk home and then, tell Dad. That would have been really bad. But thankfully we got away with it and made it home. Uh, and then I think he just drove that car up into the junkyard somewhere and gave up on it. But that's the that's the junkyard story for today. Let's see, Robert MPD. Okay, purchased the remaining original tooling from the stamping plant. They got out of it because it wasn't profitable and turned tooling back over to Ford. Well, I wish Ford would start remaking it, because there's a huge difference between some of the junk that's out there, as I've pointed out in the videos. And Kev Chat, no, we did not stop for beer. Sorry. We would have had to go all the way to our little town, and that was man, what can I spray on this thing? If I had my little torch over here, I'd burn it. Shoot some lacquer thinner in the air, light it up. Let's see, Robert. Artiflex was the company stamping them. The whole story is on Vintage Mustang by the big guy at MPD. The thread is Ford tooling sheet metal, bad news. Oh, well, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, Triplus is good metal. I've used them. Like I said, I've done C10s before, 67, 72. I put rocker panels and floor pieces and cab corners and all that stuff. I've done all that, which is really all that fails on those trucks. That's where they all rot out. In fact, I do have a video, but it's a picture video. Unfortunately, when I was doing those years and years and years ago, I wasn't doing video footage. I was taking pictures of progress. So I had those pictures on digital format. So I put them all on a video and just kind of did some, some words, talking about it. I didn't do any voiceover. Ricky, glad you're here. Hoping you're making progress on your project. I know you've talked before about it. You're doing all the work to it yourself. So hopefully you're making progress. I know you had mentioned about making a video for the viewers' projects. So hopefully you're still considering that. Haven't seen it yet, but I'm hoping you're considering that. Yeah, just killed the coronavirus. Yeah. Thanks, Heath. Yeah, both. Kev, yeah, I had to replace both inners. Well, Kev, if you go to the channel and you search my videos, I think if you put in Chevy rocker panel or something like that, 70, the truck was a 70, I believe. But you could look it up. It's in there. You'll find it. You just have to search for it. But it's on my videos. Probably 2016 maybe is when I put it together. I don't know, but you have to search for it. And probably if you just search rocker panel, it'll come up, because I don't have anything. Usually when I put a video, I do keywords, for people to search. And so, like, I'm sure I would have put rocker panel on that, or rust repair. But anyway, you can check that out. Yeah, Heath, there's all kinds of stuff we did at the junkyard. It was just crazy, and lots of stuff that Dad never learned about, thankfully. I don't have to. I'll go into more stories later, but that's I don't want to use them all up in one sitting, which I really couldn't. But I know that there's people that have questions on here, and yeah, there you go. You'll find it, Kev. I'm guessing Kev. I'm gonna guess Kevin. You wouldn't put Kev if you weren't named Kevin. I don't know what else you would put. That would be really odd if your name was Cavalci or something like that. So who else is out there? I know we've got 58 viewers, and like I said earlier, the FrankenTruck videos are going crazy. Oh, okay. Kev has a good friend who owns a big junkyard. Yeah, I wish I had a big junkyard, but not going to happen. All right. Well, Kevin, there you go. Pretty easy though. That was pretty easy. Hard to come up with something other than Kevin for Kev. But the like I said, the topic for this is the FrankenTruck videos taking off, and man, I really wish I would have put more detail in those things. I almost want to go back and talk and maybe do a video where I just talk about it again, a little more in depth with some of the work I've done to it. Oh, 65 Dart. Yeah, that's a cool car. Because there's, I get questions occasionally on how did you do this or what happened here or whatever. Hey, Roger, you made it. Okay. If you don't know, Roger's Hindsight is my neighbor. Yeah, Kev, I understand that. I tend to keep, well, you've seen what I do. I work on Brooklyn Pony for a while, or I may work on Jade for a little bit and jump around to different things, and then I throw videos on the other channel, and stuff that's not meant really to be on this channel because I want to keep it clean. Now I do know, I mentioned this before, if you haven't subscribed to Grease Rookie, and I'm sure he's probably, my guess is right now he's listening while he's working on his car, because I think it was a couple videos ago, he as he was doing the video, he mentioned, and you could hear me talking in the background, which is, because you guys can't say anything. I wish you could, but then it would be like going crazy. So everybody wave. There you go. So Grease Rookie knows you're here. They're all waving. They're all waving, Andrew. Okay. I don't have a swatter, nothing out here. Nothing. So, I'm looking like an idiot in front of the cameras. Let's see, Kev. I can't trust many of my family's shop. We're not technically an automotive shop. We just have lots of old cars. Yeah, I understand how it is. I do. Thank you for the thumbs up. Oh, man. In fact, I had somebody comment on the FrankenTruck videos. If you go, I did the, see, I knew Andrew was there. There you go. I had somebody comment on the FrankenTruck videos. If you haven't seen the, I did the bumper. I built that custom bumper. And I didn't really think about it at the time, because when I built that bumper, it was meant to be like a push bumper, like you'd see on a wrecker or somebody, a racetrack, old school angled bumper. And somebody had mentioned that I should have lopped off the corners. I could see that. He was talking about the approach angle, like if you're going into somewhere. And I thought about it a little bit, and in some aspect I can see that would work, if you had the corners angled in. But I really like that just boxed off old wrecker style looking bumper on it. I think that's really, really the way that it needs to look, just my opinion. Oh, there you go. Hey, Kev. Yeah, thumbs up, chime in, let me know you're here. I mean, it's great you're listening, but I like to have questions and stuff to talk about too, because otherwise I'm just going to be rambling on about random things. And, I know it's great for somebody who wants to go to sleep. They can, listen to me ramble on and just kind of doze off, but it's also great to have questions and stuff like that. Let's see, Mason. Yeah, it's going good. I'm south of Atlanta, so I'm in Georgia, and I sent your sticker out today. So I found one. So I sent it to you. So it'll be a little bit. And let's see. Ted just got hooked up on Grease Rookie, binge watching his vid yesterday. There you go. You get a bell for that. Well, that wasn't a very good bell. Let me get a better bell. What? Hold on. There you go. You got a good bell for that. Yeah, he's got some cool stuff on there. It's enjoyable. And let's see. Bob Shoemaker, you got a hat. I don't know if that's a question or a statement. I'm not sure on that one. But if you're asking, I do have still have some black hats available. So, but if you're not if it's a statement, well, I don't know how to word that. Sorry. Kevin, I wish our shop was clean like yours. It's hard to paint anything. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, a shop is clean to a point. Every shop has stuff. And I've got a bunch of clutter and junk and stuff sitting all over the place. And in the back is where my paint booth is. So I tend to, try to keep that as clean as I can. Anyway, so yeah, I wish my shop was cleaner. So, hey, Rain Man. Yes, Kevin, we all can learn from one another on here. That's true. That's why I like doing those viewers projects videos, because it lets people know, hey, there's somebody else struggling with this or fixing that or using a different approach, whatever. I think it's great. I think it's a great foundation for people to build from. So, let's see. Alan, your videos on FrankenTruck are helping with my 67 that I'm doing the same thing with. Cool. That's awesome. Wait. You get a bell for that. I'm glad you're there. Appreciate it. Let's see. Leonard, didn't you get it powder coated? Did I get what powder coated? I'm not sure what the question is, Leonard. The only thing I've powder coated at all in the shop is suspension components for the Brooklyn. Oh, the bumper. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I did get it powder coated. So yeah, I'm not gonna modify it and lop off those corners. You're right. Sorry, I did get it powder coated, and so it's just gonna stay the way it is. But I like it boxed off. But I could see where it could be different. Let's see, Danny. I haven't forgot about the viewer project video. Waiting on my fiance to help with it. Well, that's fine. Mason, I've got a train hat a fan sent me in the mail today. Joe Daddy's Garage. Okay. Cool. Train hat. So you must, I'm assuming you do something with trains. I don't know. But that's cool. Thanks, Ted. Thumbs up. Like it. Kev, no WD-40 in our paint booth. No WD-40. Yeah. Bad idea. Really bad idea. In fact, I'm very cautious with how I use any kind of spray lubricants or anything like that. Yeah, don't do that. Bob, I'm trying. Oh, wait a minute. Is that what you're asking me? You saying use the hat? You got a hat. Okay, I get it now. See? You got to give me the whole story. You just gave me half of it. Let's see. Brian, are familiar with the Vulcan Arc Safe welding helmets from Harbor Freight? Great helmet for the money. Using mine again tonight before I joined in here. I am not familiar with the Arc Safe. Currently, I have a helmet a buddy gave me, and where's it at? This is the helmet I have. And don't ask what the 5/16 is, because I don't remember. I wrote down something and then I stuck it on the helmet so I would remember. No, I don't remember. But this is a Digital Elite that a buddy of mine, he got a new helmet, so he gave me this one. Pretty cool. Of course, it's got a bunch of buttons and stuff inside. But I haven't, maybe when this one wears out or burns out or something, I'll look into getting one of those helmets. But at this point, this helmet's doing great. I did have a helmet, a cheaper helmet from Harbor Freight. It did okay. But the dangerous thing with these helmets, I'll just put it this way. I don't like bright lights. I struggle with bright lights in my face, and probably has a lot to do with all the welding I've done over the years. So if you're going to get a helmet, do spend some money on a helmet. I know it's easy to go and say, well, I can buy this helmet for $50. Well, there's a reason why one helmet is $50 and the other one's $500. It's how fast the reaction time is, and just trust me on that. You can't replace your eyes. So anyway, okay, yeah, Leonard bumper, got it. Let's see, Kev, my deal is when scratching went out, it takes time and dust is bad. Okay, well, here we go. Okay. I'm gonna have to skip ahead to okay, Mason, yeah, I do something with trains. Okay. Rainman, eyeglass bead, my 68 hood latch bracket. What is the best way to paint on bare metal? E-coat or epoxy? Well, you're gonna just put epoxy on it. I mean, that's gonna be because epoxy is meant to go to bare metal to help protect it from rust. Now e-coat, I don't know what you're using as far as e-coat. I don't know what that. I mean, I don't know. I'm not familiar with using e-coat like at home. I'm thinking like EDP coating or whatever, but I would just use epoxy. Kev, it screwed up. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah, epoxy is best. There you go. There's an answer from Kevin. Let's see. Southern Polyurethanes, epoxy. Yeah, I think we talked about that before, about the Southern Polyurethane, and I haven't looked into them very much, or really at all, but I've got the epoxies that I'm using right now. So, Ricky, any tips I should know on getting my chrome to shine on my Nova? It's old and foggy dull on the front hood and back. Update on the car, waiting to get my floor pan and trunk pan welded in. Well, the tricky part with that old chrome is it, and I don't remember exactly on those Novas. If it was stainless steel, that's one thing. If it's aluminum, it's another. And if it's real chrome, that's another. So stainless steel needs to be polished. It just needs to be polished. And there are people, and I can't point fingers at anybody, but there are people out there that do that for a living, specifically polish up stainless steel trim. Now, if it's aluminum, you can polish it up. It's probably not going to last because they really didn't. They had I think some of them had a coating on them or a clear coat at some point, but aluminum is just tough to make it shine. And then if it's original chrome over say a pot metal, the only way you can do that is to really re-chrome it. I mean, you can buff it, and try to get some life back in it, but if it's got any kind of pitting, it's pretty well done. So, hope that answers some question there. Okay, Barry Gibbs is the owner, and it's a US-based company. Yeah, I remember you mentioned that it was in Georgia. Robert Adams, Blue Demon has a wide view hood that looks good. The video shots show better color and more clear when off. Well, that may be a viable option at some point. I have to. Again, I've got this Miller that I really like, so until it fails, I'll probably just stay with it. Heath, what was the coolest car you owned? That's a good question, and that could be a variety of answers. Honestly, I've talked about it before. If you look, and I should have taken the sign down. There's a truck in those pictures right there. It's a 70 short bed Chevy with a 454 in it, out of a Chevy 454 SS truck. That's probably one of the cooler trucks or vehicles that I've owned. I've owned a lot of vehicles, a lot, but that thing was a real hot rod. I mean, you just couldn't hardly stop from smoking the tires everywhere you went. So that was probably one of the cooler vehicles that I've owned. Now, I traded that truck for some money. Yeah, I sold that truck. How did it work out? I traded that truck for another truck and cash. And the truck that I got was a 72 short bed that was pretty cool. It was white, real nice truck. I probably should have kept that one, but I ended up selling it too. But that red truck was that thing was a real hot rod. Now I've had my '55 Chevy, the Rat Rod '55. That was a cool car too, but not very practical. So I mean, it was a rat rod, but it was fun to drive. Beyond that, you know, your cool can be relative to different things. Like I've got my grandfather's 31 Model A. To me, that's a cool car because of the history of it. And, you know, I restored that car. There's videos of that on there too. So I restored that car. That car means a ton to me, and I think it's just cool to have, you know. So those are just some of the ones that I've had. Uh, let's see. Rayman, thanks. Kev, I cover it with a tarp, but yeah, they sandblast in our shop. Ooh, yeah, that's not practical. Doesn't make sense. Um, Leonard, Harbor Freight. Oh, Harbor Freight is okay for weekend warrior, but get a good helmet if you do more than just small welds. Yeah, I mean it's worth it. You know, there's times where I'm driving at night where I have to put on sunglasses because my eyes are so sensitive. Even sitting here, I have a little light up in front of me. You can see my hand. That's just a fluorescent light, but it bothers my eyes. It's great to have light. I mean, anytime I make a video, I have lights on, but they're more behind me, not necessarily coming at me. Now, anyway, it's just observations. Um, yes, Kevin, if you polish aluminum, you can clear coat it. That is true, very true. Uh, let's see. You're welcome, Ricky. Yeah, just not good in the sun. Yeah. Well, if you use a clear coat, it's got to be UV compliant or UV protected. Have the whatever junk in it that makes it resist UV. But yeah, it's tricky. It is. Uh, there you go. So looks like Kevin has checked out Ricky's channel. I think. Kevin, I had an 83 S10 with a 383 with GM bow tie phase 2 heads. It would wreck tires, but yeah. You know what, Kevin? Over there, over yonder, is a 383 stroker with Generation 2 bow tie heads on it. That I'm probably going to just sell. I took it in as a trade when I sold the other Bantam Roadster. So it's a fresh 383 with the Chevy Generation 2 bow tie heads on it that really need to, I don't have much use for it. I mean, I don't know. I'd probably just sell it. I had somebody show interest in, I've got a 427 sitting over here that was out of a race boat, drag race boat. So I've got that 427 that I need to sell, and then I've got a 454 that's built and never been run that I need to sell as well because, eventually I got to clear out some of the space, and I don't need some big blocks sitting in here. They're not helping me at all, just taking up space. Let's see. Yeah, Danny, get a good helmet. Kevin, we have two 55 Chevys and one 57 two-door and three four-door 57s. That's some good math there to blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, light is tough. It can really affect your eyes. Yeah. Danny, get a good helmet. Good clear coat is not cheap. You're correct. Yeah, SS truck. Yeah, the 454 SS trucks that they had in like 92, I think. 91, 92, something like that. Now they were dogged down. They weren't, you know, super. They had them choked down, so they didn't have that much horsepower, but it was still a pretty cool truck. Robert, I like having lots of light, but light in my eyes bothers me as well. I have blinded myself with my headlamp a few times. Yeah, I've seen your headlamp, and you know that's a pretty cool headlamp, but nobody else has seen it yet. So you're gonna have to show that whenever you make your next attempt at the viewers project video. uh, let's see. Oh, 63 bubble top. Yeah. Yeah. Those are really cool cars. Mid-rise bow tie intake. You know, I don't know what's on this one. I don't remember. It's sitting over. It's the guy who had it. He actually had drilled ports for nitrous, but never put them in, so they're all plugged off. He said it never ran nitrous, but he was thinking about running nitrous. Um, Engine for your El Camino. Do I hear road trip? Because that engine's for sale, and I do have a handwritten note on what's been done to it. So if you want a 383 stroker, let me know. Unless you're talking about the 454. So let's see. S10 would never hook up with traction bar. Okay. How big is your shop? 24 deep or 24 wide this way, and 36 feet this way is the main shop. And then the back is another 14 feet by 24 feet, which is my paint booth area. So overall, 24 by 50. Not nearly as big as that shop I looked at today, which was 40 by 80. I love that shop. I need to talk to Donnie and get some advice from Donnie Roebuck on that shop. Man, what a beast of a shop. Let's see. Adam McKeon, 2-barrel throttle bodies. I guess you're talking about the 454. Now this one actually had a 4-barrel on it. It had been converted over to take a 4-barrel. Short wheelbase 454. Yeah, I get that. Z1 heads or square port. Yeah, that's what the heads on both those big blocks are beasts. They're the heads everybody wants. And they're all tuned up. They got the rail on the top. I can't remember all the specifics. Really, really cool engines. But let's see. Ricky, thanks, Kevin. I work on my car every day, just trying to get it done by fall. I learn a lot watching Barry's videos. Learning to weld tomorrow. I should do pretty good, I hope. You get a bell for that, Ricky. I like to see people learning how to weld. That's a skill that everybody should have. You know, if you're working on a car like this stuff, you got to learn how to weld. It's really great. Let's see. The Vulcan Arc Safe is a great helmet. I like it better than my Miller Elite. Well, maybe I need to look into it, Brian. Maybe, because I, you know, like I said, you only get one set of eyes. Let's see. Kevin uses a Lincoln 175 SP with a 30 thousandths wire. I use 023, 025 wire. Just it's a little easier for me. Ricky, not sure, won't know till tomorrow when my son brings his machine. My son is a great welder. So glad he's doing my pants. Well, there you go. That's helpful. Robert, my shop is 20 by 40 and I can add another 20 to it. Came with the house. The 20 feet is just too narrow though. I agree. You know, when I built this shop, I built this in 96, and the limitation I had was square footage. So the city or county or whatever said that I could have 900 square feet, and that was it. Okay, so what's the best math for 900 square feet? Well, 30 by 30 is exactly 900, but I didn't want that. So I wanted a little bit of depth, and so I went with 24 by 36. But I kind of cheated the system a little bit, because when I had the concrete poured, the company that did it did a fantastic job, and they put up, I don't know how tall it is. You'll probably see it in some of the videos. It's about a 6-inch curb. I actually have a curb all the way around the shop. Okay, so where the doors are, it's a 6-inch. So what I'm getting at is they put that curb all the way around. The idea was you could wash out your shop without getting your walls wet. I thought, fantastic, do it. So I had them do that. Well, I went ahead and kind of, you're only allowed 900 square feet, but it doesn't say you can only have it's like enclosed space, the way I read it. So I had them pour the additional 14 feet on the back, and I just left it open. I said, I'm not going to worry about it. It's just open space. It's not enclosed. It's not part of the, and when the inspector came by, he said, hey, what's up with the extra concrete? And I said, oh, I'm just going to park, my lawnmower back there, or, lawn chair. I don't know, just whatever. It's just going to be for keeping stuff off the ground. And then that's back. And so they said, okay, fine. Because I had 900 square feet or thereabouts. So I left it like that for years. And it was probably, many years later, probably 7-8 years later, that, anyway, that a buddy of mine, he wanted to use my space to build a Chevelle and use some of my tools and equipment. And I said, look, man, I can't give up this space. I said, but I have an additional slab in the back. If you want to, you can park your car back there and work on it. And he said, well, is it enclosed? And I said, no. He said, well, how about if I pay for the materials and you enclose it? So that's what I did. So I built the extra length on the back. I went ahead and enclosed it in, put a door on the side, and he used that for about a year. He'd come over here, and I didn't care. He was inside the space. I had some lights in there. He paid for it all, paid for the garage door, paid for all the wood, everything. And so that's how I ended up with the paint booth in the back of the shop. And anyway, so 24 by 50 overall is my real size of my shop. Let's see. I lost some people here. I lost some conversation. Johnny Crash. Someday I'll have a shop. Maybe when my wife will be more open to me having more projects. Good luck. Kevin, that's weird. Seems they would allow you to want all you want for tax reasons. Well, they were pretty restrictive, and it was just the way the rules were written. 900 square feet. Now, if I build a new shop here, I could have. Well, here's the goofy part. Let me back up a step. I could have 2 buildings that were 900 square feet. 2, as long as they weren't connected to each other. And I know people that went out and they built a 30 by 30 and a 30 by 30 a foot away, or 6 inches away from each other, whatever it was. The city approved it. And after the inspectors left, they knocked the wall out and just made it a giant building. Made no sense. But now they've changed it to where you can have 1,800 square feet. If you wanted a garage that big, you could have an 1,800 square foot garage. So I'm kind of stuck. Back then, had I known that, I would have built a lot bigger. But that's what I have. The only loophole beyond pouring some extra concrete that I did, and this is where your taxes come in, if you attach this garage to the house, and I mean attached, if you had a handrail from your house to the shop, you could build as big as you want. Explain that one. Seriously, if it was attached, you can. Makes no sense. Anyway, uh, Rain Man. Whoops. I painted the hood latch, etched primer, and then painted with Rust-Oleum black paint. Okay. I guess I lost. Yeah. Well, you're gonna get some chipping anyway, just from the fact that it's a hood latch. So it won't be that big a deal. If it lasted 50 years, it'll last another 50 years. Robert Adams, Johnny Crash, my netter 3/4 wants my shop to be bigger, and she has even funded a good bit of the Mustang. Don't tell her, but she is a keeper. You get another bell, Robert. Mason, I'm thinking about making my own shop. Also, how many garage doors have next to? I only have one garage door in the shop. This one. It is 16 feet wide and 8 feet tall. So technically it's 8'6" because of the extra 6 inches on the ground, but I framed it up. But it's a roll-up door. It's the only door I have in and out of the shop. And then I have the standard door in the paint booth. So unless you just want to have a door on both ends, just get away with one. Okay, so I've got some mixed conversations. All right, let me figure this out. Brian says you would like it, Barry. I don't even need the cheater. Now I'm confused because I don't know what you said. Sorry. Rainman, if you call SPI Southern Polyurethane, it will help. They will help you no matter what, if you buy or not. Well, there you go. There you go. Got an answer from Kevin. I'll give you a bell for that, Kevin. Whoops. Hold on. There you go. Johnny Crash. My wife is mostly supportive as long as I'm not dumping the majority of the income into cars. She's changed my mind several times when I've considered selling my 95 Cobra. Interesting. Rob, all that room must be awesome. I'm working in a one-car garage, but at least I have that. Yeah, well, I started off when I here at my house, 2-car garage that I was building cars from. One of the first cars I actually built here at at my house was a '79 Chevy Malibu that was a fun little car that I had. But I did a lot of work in the house garage. In fact, I punched a hole through the sheetrock ceiling, put in 4x4s across 3 trusses so that I could pull engines. And that was tough, but I did it. Yeah, and it's also, I know it's a lot of room, but I also have a lot of junk in here that I need to just get out of my way. I would like to actually expand that wall, and if I could go out 12 or 16 feet so that the footprint would be 40 by 36 deep, but over there I would put a door somewhere over there where that window is, not to use it as a part of the bay, but to put stuff like toolboxes and different things that I could put over there out of the way. And also I would probably make a little wood shop because I like working with wood. I like making projects out of all kinds of stuff, but I have a background with doing cabinetry and woodworking and stuff. So I would like to be able to build some things out of wood, but that doesn't really work out well here. So let's see. Yeah, part of your living quarters. Yeah, you could powder coat stuff. That would be a good idea. Heath, my shop is 25 by 40, enough room for my wife's car and my project car. Well, that's a pretty good space. I mean, that's bigger than what I have right here. That's bigger than this spot. One door, one-eyed dog. Yeah. Yeah. Danny, I have one big garage, and that the concrete is at 8% slope that I'm going to eventually add on and level everything out. Yeah, slope doesn't help. I know that. That's no fun. Johnny Crash, I don't know too much in the Cobra, hardly anything really, but 5.0 Cobras aren't exactly common these days. Yeah, that's true. Hey, Rob, thanks for the thumbs up. Thanks, GM Car Guy, GM3. I can't, there's too many things there. GM3 Car Guy, Car 3 Guy, GM. Thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Danny's still in a pop-up tent I got from Harbor Freight. Yeah. Well, I have, this space, and out there, I have my little 12 by 12 barn building that has my mower, and it has tires and wheels and chainsaws and just random stuff in it. And then I have another little building. It's probably like 8 by 10 maybe, one of those portable type buildings. It's full of body panels and seats and miscellaneous sheet metal for everything, Camaro and Mustangs, and it's all kinds of stuff out there. So I've got too much stuff spreading around. 5.0 with GT40 heads. Yeah, that'll run. Yeah, that'll work. Danny, yeah, if you buy anything, I'll need the Harbor Freight 10. Okay. Let's see. Cheater lens, Barry. Oh, there you go. I think somebody had mentioned it to me in the past about getting one of those lenses. I could use one of those because I do have a little pair of magnifying glasses that I'll put on just to help me, weld. But cheater lens for welding, yeah. Yeah, I need to look into that. Rob, I'm pretty sure the house had 2 bays originally, but I would doubt my wife would let me turn the den back into garage space. Yeah, probably not. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Thumbs up. Appreciate it. Yeah, Danny, that's why I'm using the tent for all the spare parts. Yeah. My garage needs, Heath, my garage needs more lighting. Yeah, all garages need more lighting. I mean, I guess I've gotten used to them. When I first swapped them over, I changed out all my fluorescents to the LEDs, and they're great. And I said it before, I need to add another strip down the middle, which I do. And then I added these, the Braun 4-foot hanging lights from Harbor Freight. I added 2 of those up front, right over here in the midsection over top of like this table. So that's been very helpful. Those lights are pretty good. The only thing is they're plug-in lights. They're not, you could wire them in, but they're designed to be plugged in. So it works for me because I have two plugs up in the ceiling that I can plug into, and then they're powered off my light switch. So I thought about maybe I've got 3 more of those 4-foot LED lights from Harbor Freight, the Braun lights. I thought about just stringing those down the middle, something like that to make it simple, but I don't know. We could all use more lights. King Custom is back. All right. I forget who was here earlier talking about they binged watched all the FrankenTruck videos, but if you're interested, go check them out. Again, they're probably not my best videos. They're short, and I mean I cover a lot of ground in that build, and it was a fun process. Going back and thinking it over, I would probably consider doing a 4-wheel drive version instead of the 2-wheel drive, just because it seems like it would be a more useful truck. I could be wrong, but I'm not going to change anything. I know people put in a straight axle on those trucks and stuff like that. I'm not interested. It's together. It's running. I can go out and crank it up and drive to California in that truck if I wanted to, and so it's not going to change. Now I may have to at some point. We'll see how it goes when I get done with some of this other projects. Is I may pull parts of that truck back apart, fix some things, maybe put some carpet in it, make it more waterproof. But for now, it's just the way it is. But I like it. Rob, out of curiosity, have you done any videos for painting at home in a small garage? I'll be done with that later this year with the Falcon. No, I really haven't. I mean, if you say, you say small garage, I've seen a lot of people paint in a small space. Um, the trick is getting airflow. You know, I've seen people, like I had a buddy of mine paint, his dad painted a Monte Carlo in my house garage with almost zero airflow. It was blue, and there was so much paint just hanging in the air, you could hardly see the car. And a lot of that eventually settled on the floor and became part of the floor. But airflow is pretty important, you know. Um, I've gotten the, my paint booth is really like a garage stall in size, 24 deep, 14 wide. So I don't know if you consider that small or not, but it's not huge, but it's actually pretty good size for painting in. But I don't have anything specific for doing in a small garage. I've seen people use, tape off everything on the walls so you don't get any dust floating around, and blow it all out really good. So it depends on what you're hoping for as an end result. Now I will say this: I've heard, I haven't dealt with it directly, and I've actually, well, I say I haven't, but I just talked to some people who have told me that if you want a good paint job, you can go to Mako. If you do all the prep work at home, you can get a really good paint job. They can spray paint. You can tell them, I want the good stuff. I don't want to play around with this junk. But from what I understand, you do all the labor of pulling the bumpers, pulling the lights, sanding, priming, whatever, getting everything ready, and it's prepped and ready. So when they get it, they can just do a quick wipe down and spray it. I've heard you can do that, and they will do that. Mako's geared towards slap and goes. I mean, they just do as little bit as they need to get it looking okay, and spray it and it's gone. And that's why they don't charge hardly anything. But I have heard. So if you're looking at options, you may consider that. So, and you can also talk to, in some instances, you can talk to, paint shops, like regular body shops, and say, look, I'll do all the prep work. I'll get it in primer. All I ask is you spray it, in your booth, roll it out, we'll put it on the trailer, and I'll take it home. You can just ask them what they would charge just to spray the paint. And you could say, I'll wipe it down, everything, involved with that, and, see what kind of deal you can make, because they don't care if somebody else does all the labor. You pay for them, their services to spray it. So you may consider that as well. Let's see. Brian, 30 by 50 with a bend pack in center bay. Yeah, that's nice. So when you say center bay, I'm going to assume it's 50 wide by 30 deep with the bend pack in the middle. I'm going to assume that. But that sounds like a nice space. Jack, I just bought 16 4-foot LED from Amazon for $300, 4,000 lumen each. Should be pretty but nice. Vacuuming my shop now, paint this weekend. Yeah, so that's why part of the reason I wanted to get these walls painted white, and finished out. When I put up these are 8 foot. So I had T8? I don't know, whatever it is that the light has a center post on the end of it. So I bought the LED bulbs that were set up with that little post, so I could just use the whole fixture that I had for my fluorescents and just modify the wiring. And so it works. It's worked out great. Let's see. Yeah, it'll definitely. Actually, Mazda's, Leonard. Mazda's. It'll pull Mazda's out of the mud. But you're right. Well, Danny, I'm glad. If you've binge watched all of my videos, you've been there a while. You must be drinking some Cokes to stay awake that long, because my channel has 457 or something videos on it. So if you've watched all of those, you've really accomplished something. Maybe I should do that. I make it a challenge that you watch all of my videos through the whole sequence and I come up with some sort of prize. That would be crazy. uh, let's see. Yeah, it'd be nice, Kevin. It'd be nice to have a booth. Yeah. Yeah, Brian, there's nothing wrong with being, proud of having a nice shop. I mean, it's awesome. Ricky, good night, everybody. Morning comes early. All right, we'll see you, Ricky. Glad you were here. Uh, let's see. Yeah, it's easy to spend a bunch of money on stuff to make all the bodywork look good. Uh, I can get a good finish off my Techno Pro light. Oh, okay. Um, yeah, it's like I said, Brian. Nothing wrong with it. I'm proud of the little space that I have. I've kept this thing going. This this since '96. This building's been sitting here. So, and I still would like to make it a little bigger, or buy that property that we found over in Alabama. Oh man! Anybody want to do a GoFundMe? I don't know how that works. Maybe you could do a GoFundMe so I could go buy this property over in Alabama. Then there's enough room. I could have all my cars inside or have some sitting outside underneath the overhang. It would be so awesome. But the only drawback is, and I say drawback, not that it's a drawback, but it would have to have a house. We'd have to build a house on a property. And because my wife's not going to want to be living in that little apartment that's inside the main shop. That won't work. But we'll see. If we could pull it off, it would be great. But the thing it's hunting land. It's got a ton of acres of land that I don't need. I would probably sell off bulk of the acreage, but man, it would be so awesome to have a big shop, because then I could really do some stuff. I've shown in the videos, cleaning up or moving stuff around, and all this clutter that I have around the shop. It'd be just so cool to be able to have a big space. But yeah. Oh, it's all you do at work, Danny? Well, then you have a good job. Paul, I want to thank you for your vids, especially the floor and torque box install. I have started restoring my '69 Mustang. I've had sitting on the side for 30 years, now retired. Paul, you get 2 bells for that. Glad you're here. Appreciate that. And I'm glad you're enjoying the videos. It's helping you work on your project. That's the whole point. I make these videos so that y'all can do the work on your cars without having to give up. And I'd rather hear from you saying, I did it, I finished it, I made it. Your information helped me. I love that. That's just very rewarding. So, Rick Stevenson, I've watched all your videos. All right, Rick, you're gonna get a bell for that. Kev, have you ever heard of AccuSpray Isaac the 07? No, have not. Sorry. Rick had a lot of time in a hotel room and nothing to do. Well, if you want to watch my videos, that's awesome. I've had people, it's funny, because like I said earlier in the video, I said that I know if Andrew's still here, that he's got me on and he's just listening to me talk. And I think it's funny. I mean, it's funny that people just want to listen. It's one thing to see the video, make the video and talk and point and do this sort of thing. But I've had some people tell me they like to hear my voice for some reason. And, I think it's interesting. But it's okay, because like I said, some people, maybe it helps them sleep. I don't know. But I'm glad you're watching anyway. I appreciate it. Let's see. Leonard, night all, get early start. Yeah. This time changes. I know we all hate it. We all hate this time of year where we do this time change, and then we have to struggle with trying to get our body clock adjusted. Man, as I get older, it's the worst it is. Time change is the worst. So, let's see. Danny, Kev, the tent is definitely worth it for $169. Yeah. Yeah. Roger, breaking a new neighbor. Yeah. Yeah, as it is, I don't think it's not looking very good, but we'll see. I mean, who knows if I can if the channel can keep growing and I can get the other channel, growing and generating some income, it might be best if I could have a bigger shop and really take off and do some of these things. But you never know. Uh, yeah, it might be moving into the tent. Yeah, it's very soothing. Okay, Rob. Well, I think that's great. There's some people out there, um, and I don't know. I'm not really looked into it. What is this? They have this what ASMR videos, which is just people talking, and uh, they okay. When I go to sleep, I have a tablet that I watch your videos or this old Tony vids until I fall asleep. Well, there you go. I can help Robert fall asleep. But it's funny. Here, there's some of these people out there that they make these videos where they have a really good microphone and they get real close to it and today we're going to make chocolate chip cookies and we're going to mix the batter and they do this like whispery type of weird thing. So maybe I should do that. Do some ASMR videos where I'm like, and today I'm going to grind these welds, and I'm going to use a 4.5-inch grinder on my air tool, and by the time I'm done, all the welds be really smooth, and nobody will notice that it was ever. You know what I mean? Would that be productive? All right, Andrew's here, here. Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I can tell you, my wife gets probably tired of listening to me talk in the first 10 minutes. I try to relate a story to her or a conversation, and she's just kind of like, quit talking. But, if everybody here, hey, you like to listen? Cool. And like answering questions, I'm good with that. Whatever. Uh, yeah. Let's see, Kevin. I've never seen a gun quite like the AccuSpray Isaac 07, and it's such a beautiful spray pattern. Wish I could find parts to it. Okay. Yeah, eating. Yeah, you and those girls sitting eating a whole pan of cookie or a cake. This is so good and tasty. I really like this batter. It's so gooey and blah blah blah, whatever. But apparently there's a market for that. There's people. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff on YouTube. We all know it. But there's something about these people that like to watch or listen to people talk, and that's But these girls that do it, whatever, it has some sort of effect on your, I don't know, brain somehow. So, oh yeah, massaging the metal. Robert, I'm going to use this hammer and dolly and massage this metal into a shape you've never seen before. Danny, I'm a visual learner. No way I could have ever had the confidence to tackle a full restoration without watching your videos 100 times. Better than buying a new car and have $1,000 month payment. That is very true. I will, you get a bell for that. I don't think I'll ever buy another new car ever. I just can't. I know people that would go out and they're fine. I mean, it keeps the economy going. People buying cars and trucks. That's fine. That's great. I'm happy for them. They want to have a new car. They get a new car. I just can't do it. I just can't. I mean, I just can't justify those kind of payments and all that stuff. So, uh, I'm getting some comments here. Yeah, stretcher shrinker ASMR. Yeah, English wheel ASMR. 4.5-inch grinders eraser. Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I had somebody comment. I forget who it was. Desert Fox or Desert Racer or something had asked me about the cutoff wheel that I used on the steering column shaft for the steering column, and I haven't really checked into it because when I bought that it's a bad boy, not no bad dog. Bad Dog cutoff wheel that I have, the 4.5 inch grinder, and then I have, let's see if I have the other one. I have this one too. This is the 3-inch version of the diamond wheel cutoff that I got from Bad Dog Tools. He was asking me about these because they're not cheap. It is what it is. I bought a package deal on these things, so I ended up with the 4.5 inch disc, the 3-inch disc, 2 sets of drills, drill bits, and some other accessories, and that hole cutter and all kinds of stuff. But when I bought it, it was a package deal at the SEMA show, so I got some sort of a discount, whatever. I get nothing, no endorsement. I don't get any commission out of these. I'm just telling you up front. But I think that they say that it's got a lifetime guarantee. So if the thing quits cutting or breaks or whatever, they'll replace it for life. So if you look at it from a perspective of that, I look at it like when you buy a Snap-on tool or a Mac tool or whatever, they are lifetime guarantee on most everything, right? Well, what I consider it is you're buying like 3 tools at one time, let's say. So if you're buying whatever, let's just say you buy some sort of Mac tool or Snap-on, and you pay $100 for a grinder. To me, you're really buying like 3 grinders over the, because that thing, they replace it. So it's kind of like that disc. You're really paying for like 3 up front, let's say. And that way, whenever one dies, they give you another one. That's kind of the way I look at it. But so far, now this little air grinder that I have, I don't know, it's a Rockwell. I have no idea where I got this thing. I've had it for years, and it keeps on chugging, so I keep using it. But this, I don't know what this disc for. This disc is probably $100, I'm guessing. But do the math too. When you pay big money or good money for tools, how many fiber cutoff discs would I go through in the time that I have this? So you got to kind of offset how that works. So like, if this will last me the equivalent of 200 cutoff discs, even 300 cutoff discs, how much do you pay for those cutoff discs versus what you're going to pay for this thing? And this is supposedly got a lifetime guarantee. Not only that, but this doesn't kick out fibers crap into the air, as it doesn't wear down. Supposedly, you're just kicking off sparks or grinding from the metal versus the powdery junk you get from the carbon disc, or fibrous disc. So just if you're considering those, just think about it long term. For me, I go through cutoff wheels. I go through it's like butter. All the time I'm cutting stuff up, and I know these are going to save me money over time. So just an observation. Anyway, yeah, English wheel ASMR, yeah, good tools cost. Robert, I would assume you have a little more control with the diamond wheel since it cuts slower. Yeah, you're right. I've gotten used to using it, especially on a 4.5 inch grinder. When I cut off that steering column shaft, it took me a couple minutes, whatever, but it was just, went right through it. So it's pretty cool. If it's something I use constantly, yeah, but just to cut 1/16 cutoff wheels are great. Yeah, I use Sue grinders. Okay, I'm not sure with those I haven't used Sue. Yeah, every day you go through that stuff. Octagon, I remember back when you had less than 20,000 subs, and the giveaway when you reached that point, I ended up winning the beer koozie and the ballpoint pen. I just went, oh yeah, hey, you're welcome. I think I still have some of those beer koozies somewhere. Well, somewhere. I had to reorder. I'm gonna try to reorder some more stickers, and that company I order from is called Zug Monster. I follow them on Instagram. They keep offering more and more things that you can order. So I don't know if I'm going to try to get into different stuff, that I could get from them. But yeah, you're welcome, Octagon. Yeah, plasma cutter, pretty awesome tool. I've got one. It's over there somewhere. Hindsight, Roger, the Rockwell 90 grinder is 25 plus years old. Yeah, I mean, well, this is probably Roger's grinder. I don't know. I don't know where this came from. If it might be Roger's, but it keeps chugging away, man. It keeps doing great. Let's see. The drawback to the diamond is that often a smaller worn fiber disc is handy. Yeah, well, that's true, because you can. If you get that little disc down to a certain size, you need to get in a tight spot. That's a good observation. I agree with that. But, and this may not be used as much as the 4.5 inch. That 4.5 inch, man, that thing, whoo, that thing's fantastic. And I'll use that a lot. Diamond cuts cooler. That's true. Kevin, are you a veteran? Yes, I am. If you look, that was my Army unit, 10th Mountain Division. Long history. If you're interested, look up the 10th Mountain Division in World War II and what they did to help liberate Italy. But long story, they disbanded the unit back in 1946 or 7, something like that. And then they reactivated the unit as a full division in 1985. And I was there as the 1st battalion. So actually, well, technically the term is 2nd Battalion, 14th Infantry Regiment. So I was in the 1st group, full battalion that activated in 1985, 86. So, yeah, I'm a vet. I was 11 Charlie. So if you're not familiar with that, 11 Bravo is a grunt, full infantry soldier. 11 Charlie is a mortarman who is not only a grunt, but he is a mortar gunner. I was a mortar gunner. So that's why I don't hear so good out of this year. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff. Did a lot of cool stuff in the Army. Norris Net, keep up the great work. Glad you're here, Jeff. I don't know if you've been here on one of the live streams before. If you haven't checked out Norris Net TV, go check out his channel. He's got a really, really cool Mustang convertible. And maybe, you know what, Jeff, that would be great if you wanted to do a viewer's project and do a walk around of your Mustang, because that thing is amazing. That is a beautiful, beautiful car. I know I've talked before about coming up and actually doing a video on it, but if you wanted to, you could do a viewer's project video for me, and we, do a walk around and talk about it, tell the story of the car and all that stuff, and we could post it up. So consider that. That would be a great thing. We'll see you, Jack. Yeah, I'll be here next week. Kev and yeah, Rockwell, great grinders. Yeah, they apparently are. Are you familiar with the 3M bristle brush? They work great. I don't know if I'm overly familiar with them. I don't remember. You're talking about the finger wheel brush? Because I do have some of those. I call them finger wheels. I got a plastic disc with like little fingers sticking out of it. I have some of those. Those are pretty cool. All right, Danny, glad you were here. We'll see you. Appreciate it, Kevin. World War II, yeah. There's a lot of them. I mean, if you ever watch, there's a channel called American Heroes Channel. Man, the stories they depict on there are pretty incredible. So, I don't know if you have that channel. We use Philo TV. We did away with our Dish Network junk, and so we use Philo, and the one of the channels on there is American History Channel, I think is what it is. American Heroes, maybe American Heroes Channel, and it's all kinds of cool, military stories from World War II or Vietnam. All they cover a lot of ground. So yeah, Jeff, that would be great. I would love to share your car on this channel. I mean, you guys would see this thing, man. Uh, just a beautiful car. I'd like to see it in person. I really would. Um, Kevin McGrath, yeah, okay. Johnny Crash, my dad was in 11. Now, I'm not familiar with 11M from 70 to 77, but I thank him for his service. Yeah, Bristol brusher finger wheel. Yeah, they are great. Brian, a little tip for using regular cutoff wheels. Keep tipping slightly side to side to provide a little clearance. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You could help it because as you're doing that, you're creating a bigger V or pattern for that thing to go through. So yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Jeff he's got a very, very cool Mustang. Oh man, what time is it? 9:19. I know it's past your bedtime for some of you. 9:19. So I've been at this 2 hours and 17 minutes, and I still have 49 viewers. That's pretty good. I guess it's the ASMR thing that I was doing earlier that kept everybody here and focused. That would be something. Maybe I'll do that on my other channel. I'll just do a random ASMR talking about, I don't know what that stands for, ASMR. But I know it has something about how they talk and whatever's supposed to like influence some weird trigger in your brain. I just thought it would be funny to do one of those. And then I think what's the other one? People that do the clothing hauls, where they have different clothes or something they put on. I was going to make a joking video about that, saying, look, I got some new Wranglers. Look, I got another pair of Wranglers. I got another t-shirt. It's gray. I got another t-shirt. It's gray. Have some fun with it. I got another hat. It's green. Yeah, well, Robert, what else am I going to do? It's Monday night. I don't know. I don't know what's on. I'm sure there's a TV show to watch or something. If I could be editing Robert's video, it was a gnat. Yeah. Well, the gnat's gone. And that, I don't know where it went. Maybe it got tired of me talking and it went off and just died. Oh man. Okay. Let's see. Oh, field communications. Okay. Yep. That was definitely important. Yeah, I'm not, for me, my limited knowledge on 11 Bravo, 11 Charlie, 13 Foxtrot, which is a Ford Observer, that's really about as far as I got with remembering things, because 13 Fox was pretty sure Ford Observer, because we had those for our, firing our mortars. We had to have Ford Observers. Yeah, it's in the clear coat, yeah. Well, Robert, people want to see this stuff, and it's nice to share. So we'll get there. No big deal. We'll get there. But I'm probably going to do what I might do yet this week, since it's going to be a short week for me, and I know it's not going to be. I probably won't do a Mustang video, and I know people aren't necessarily as excited, but I do repair videos. I do changing an alternator, putting in brakes or whatever. So one of my popular videos is when I change out the serpentine belt, belt tensioner, and whatever on one of my wife's vans, and I'm gonna probably do that. I'll probably do a video on changing out her serpentine belt, because a lot of people just don't know. and they get intimidated by this crazy looking belt running all over the front of their engine. And you know, if it helps them out, fine, it's great. So I know my wife's needs changed, and I know there's a new belt sitting somewhere near here that I've already bought. So I'll probably do that this week. At least have something on the channel that people can watch. But I need to still talk to my buddy about the modifying that mock-up transmission that I have. I'm pretty sure, based on what I'm seeing, that the pan, I'll probably pull the box lid back off of the 347 and get a look at the pan and do some measuring. I know somebody suggested I pull the pan off of that 347. I don't want to break any seals. I don't want to take anything loose. But if I take that pan and I measure it off, then I can, make sure it's going to clear the rack and pinion steering setup. I know it'll clear the frame rail or the cross member. It's modified for that. So I'm probably going to have to do that anyway, just to make sure. Yeah, not coronavirus. What else was there? I mentioned before, and I don't want to overwhelm or bore you with it, but if you're interested in ordering something from Amazon, go ahead and try to go through on my channel. I get a little kickback from that if you want. That helps me out, and you can do that through pretty much any of my videos. I think now I have Amazon links on there. So anyway, it's 2:22, 2 hours 22 minutes, and I can feel it now. My voice is starting to get rough. That's not helpful for the ASMR stuff, I don't think. Anyway, so I'm going to call it a night. I'm glad you were all here. The transmission, you have to look at the video. It was a AOD transmission, Kevin. The last video I did on the Brooklyn Pony. It'll give you details on that. But I'm going to call it a night, get in the house and chill out, and maybe grab something to eat yet. I'm not sure. But anyway, so it's been great. I'm glad you're all here and still interested. And I know Andrew's probably still working. Maybe he's still working on his Mustang. He might be done by now. It's already 9:30. He might be in the house with his kids. So anyway, glad you're all here. And we'll make it again next week, Monday night at 7 o'clock. And